Kazakhstan is one of the important participants of the Eurasian Economic Union. The initiator of the creation of the largest economic association was President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev. Since formation of the union, new markets have become available to participants. In this regard, the EEU has made significant progress. This is reflected in growth of mutual investments. In the first half of 2018, Kazakhstan's trade turnover with member states of the union amounted to almost $9 billion. The EEU is a unique model. Countries solve economic problems together to give a rapid response to modernization. At the first meeting of the Council on Agro-Industrial Policy of the EEU in Moscow, Kazakhstan proposed to create a new methodology for forecasting agricultural production. The Eurasian Economic Commission has begun its development. Logistics digital platform will not be created based on the unified information system. The Kazakh Ministry of Agriculture recommended integrating national information and logistics systems.
Когда вообще создавался по инициативе нашего президента Евразийский экономический союз.
Based on the President's initiative of the EEU, the methodology of economic pragmatism was adopted. Our countries should benefit from working mutually in the EEU, including in agriculture. When products are in demand in the markets of our countries, why don't we make predictions on it? They can show us what amounts of food we can produce and consume within our countries.
Могут показать, какие объемы продовольствия мы можем производить и потреблять внутри наших стран.
The economic integration is interesting to other countries. They show willingness for cooperation. The EEU and Vietnam signed an agreement on creation of a free trade zone. Similar negotiations are being continued with Singapore. Egypt also intends to intensify trade with the EEU. The Joly State Development Program is the main driver of the national economy. The program aims to integrate the country's macro-regions by building an efficient infrastructure. It includes the construction of over 7,000 kilometers of Republican highway and repairs on more than 10,000 kilometers road. Over 1 trillion tenge were allocated to develop the road system since the beginning of Joly.
С начала реализации данного проекта уже отремонтировано, то есть
Since the beginning of this project, 2,400 kilometers of roads of international and republican significance have been reconstructed. According to projects, the reconstruction of Western Europe, Western China has been fully completed. The Almaty-Kapshagai and Astana-Temirtau projects have also been completed. Sites at the Mangistau region have been finished.
Алмата, Астана, Темиртау. Есть участки, завершенные в Мангистауской области.
According to data, over 10,000 jobs were created under the program. The share of locally produced materials was estimated at nearly 95%. The reconstruction covers 4,500 kilometers of Republican highway. There are 22 more projects. Next year, approximately 2,000 kilometers of roads will be repaired in Kazakhstan.
Вот эти все проекты, они в основном являются международными транзитными коридорами, большинство, которые позволяют улучшить транзитный потенциал.
All these projects are mainly international transit corridors, most of which allow improving the Republic's transit potential. Implementing large projects like Western Europe, Western China, and improving the road conditions show that the intensity in these areas increases significantly as it attracts certain freight traffic. The intensity has tripled.
Который притягивает сюда определенный грузооборот. Если вот по проекту Западная Европа, Западный Китай, в отдельных участках интенсивность выросла более 3 раз.
Development of transport infrastructure under the Joly program actively attracts funds from international financial institutions, specifically the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development.
На реализацию проекта Западная Европа, Западный Китай были привлечены более $4,5 миллиардов.
More than $4.5 billion of investments were attracted for implementation of the Western Europe, Western China project. Nearly 30% of loans from international financial institutions have been borrowed for other projects. Recently, we've started working with China Exim Bank. Nearly $2 billion are attracted for the construction and reconstruction of the Joly program.
около $2 миллиардов привлекается на строительство и реконструкцию в рамках программы «Нурлы жол».
Experts say that the implementation of the Nurli Jol program will have a multiplier effect on Kazakhstan's economy. They also said it is not only the emergence of modern highways, but also the country's GDP growth, new jobs, and increase in transit traffic. Digital transformation improves efficiency and performance. A vivid example is the introduction of Astana One information system. The electronic process has greatly facilitated work at customs. Entrepreneurs have benefited from the process. With the electronic customs declaration, businessmen can save up to 6.5 billion tenge. International traders highlighted that they can submit the declaration without leaving home and office. They only need to have a login and an electronic digital signature. It is very convenient. A lot of things have been simplified. The process has been greatly accelerated. People can undergo the procedures without leaving office. The declaration takes 5 to 10 minutes to be submitted. Thanks to the new information system, which was introduced in the beginning of this year, the need of a middleman is eliminated. Goods in warehouses can also be stored for a shorter period than usual. Previously, storage rent had to be paid. Each link of the customs clearance had different systems in every process. A temporary storage had one system, brokers have another, and the customs authorities had the third system. Not all declarants had software products in order to file declarations. Now all this is kept in one program. For the first time, all processes are integrated into one platform. Users can submit preliminary information and monitor the release of goods. Human factor in the process has been minimized.
Очень важно, что мы обеспечиваем теперь сквозной мониторинг движения товаров. То есть мы полностью...
It is very important that we provide end-to-end monitoring of the movement of goods. From the moment of import to its final implementation in retail networks, it is part of the system, including the electronic invoices. Thanks to the combination of these systems, the so-called big data technologies, we can track the sale and people involved in it, as well as the price, profit, and tax payment.
Благодаря объединению данных с разных систем, так называемой технологии больших данных,
with the introduction of the system, entrepreneurs can save time. Now they no longer need to visit the customs authorities in a particular city. Innovation is a priority. New technologies in agriculture are actively introduced in the Turkestan region. One example is an automated greenhouse complex in the Saryagash district. Due to a new method of growing tomatoes, the yield has almost doubled. In just one season, a 7-hectare greenhouse produces nearly 700 tons of tomatoes. Harvesting is conducted in May and November. During the harvest, we cut the tomatoes in a special way in order not to lose them in transportation. An automated temperature control system is installed in the greenhouse. This has a positive effect on growth. During the harvest, each bush gives 7 to 8 pounds of fruit, which means there are from 50 to 100 boxes of tomatoes per day. There are automated windows in our greenhouse. If the temperature increases, the windows open, and when it gets cooler, they close again. 1/3 of greenhouse-grown products are exported to Russia. The rest covers the domestic market. 50% of all greenhouses in the Turkestan region are located in the Saryagash district. The European Union plans to strengthen interaction with Central Asia. This was stated by the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Federica Mogherini. Next year, Brussels will present a new EU strategy for Central Asia. Federica Mogherini highlighted that the document would include a whole range of topics related to economic and investment cooperation, as well as transnational partnership on water and energy issues and improving security in the region and beyond.
The strengthening of our cooperation with this region, that is very important, and the work will continue in full unity and with full determination to strengthen ties with Central Asian countries bilaterally and as a region together, and also to encourage the further strengthening of regional cooperation among them.
Kyrgyz honey is valued in many countries globally. Honey from this country is golden and has fragrance and is used for health purposes. The honey is famous for its rich taste and it is ecologically clean as it is collected in the mountainous regions of the republic. Kyrgyz honey is in high demand. Experts suggested opening a specialized Eurasia center in Bishkek to develop the honey industry.
Создать центр для обучения начинающих пчеловодов, желающих, продолжающих.
It is necessary to create a training center for beginner beekeepers who are willing and want to continue their work. We made the proposals to UNDP. Work was carried out in the Ministry of Economy. The first experts, teachers of the Russian Academy of Beekeeping, should work in the Osh city.
Учителя из Российской академии пчеловодства, они должны принять работу, в городе Аше.
Honey from Kyrgyzstan is exported to 20 countries. Beekeepers work tirelessly to improve the quality of honey in order to expand the export market. Various herbs are added to some honey. The beekeepers say that the mixed honey is useful as the quality increases. Most of the Kyrgyz honey is exported to Russia and Kazakhstan. This is changing every year.
It is proven
that Kyrgyz products are very good for health. Our products are in high demand. Recently, new agreements have been concluded with companies not only from Kyrgyzstan but also from Kazakhstan. Kyrgyz entrepreneurs have all the prerequisites for accomplishing their goals. The state pays a lot of attention to this topic. A special document is being developed which addresses beekeeping in the country. Wisdom says that if you want to know people, you have to learn their folklore. Kazakhs are rich for oral folk art, fairy tales, legends, epics, and historical poems. The best of Kazakh folklore was included in a 100-volume book titled Babalar Sozi, which was published 4 years ago. Now these works has joined the anthology of the steppe folklore. President of Kazakhstan Nursultan Nazarbayev assigned the project in his 7 facets of the Great Steppe article. The steppe and urban folklore are very different both in terms of style and metaphors, says literary critic Said Kaskabasov, who is one of ideological inspirers and developers of Babalar Sozi. In the steppe folklore, a girl is compared to the steppe flowers and beauty of her eyes is compared to the eyes of a camel. In eastern and urban folklore, girls are compared with pearls and precious stones. Therefore, the steppe folklore has its own characteristics.
Дала фольклор дегенде бұған үлкен сараптама керек. Үлкен оған жүйелеу керек. Міне келе жатыр. Оған үлкен
A great deal of expert work is needed to create an anthology of the steppe folklore, including editing. The smartest people are interested, experienced literary critics and philologists. More than one generation of Kazakhs will be interested in anthology of the steppe folklore. Therefore, this work is very serious and important.
Мәні зор болу керек. Біздің классикалық фольклорымыз, ол біздің мемлекетімізді дамытатын ғажап бір күш-қуат болуға тиісті.
Unique glasses are found in the ancient Kastek city in Almaty region. Archaeologists also found chess pieces, coins as well as metal and ceramic products. The first glasses were made of ivory and most likely came from India along the Great Silk Road. Everything else was made in Kastek, archaeologists say. The most interesting findings have been discovered quite recently.
В этом году мы нашли пинцет и скальпель. потому что в те времена средневековья, там люди оперировали. Вообще, первый раз в Казахстане.
This year we found tweezers and scalpel. In the Middle Ages, people performed surgeries using these items. A toothbrush was found in Kazakhstan for the first time. In the 8th century, our ancestors used toothbrush made of horsehair. Well, look at Europe. Venice was in the 14th century. 7 centuries ahead, our ancestors were glass-blowing masters. There are 4 types: glasses for windows, decanters, and cups. Everything is there. This year we found inscriptions. This is the culture.
Там все есть. Даже в одном нашли мы в этом году, даже внизу было надписи даже. Вот какая культура.
Scientists highlight that the early medieval Kastiak city was quite big. It occupied 30 hectares of land. Less than a hectare was investigated, but even this can tell a lot to the scientists. For example, caravans drove into the city on a white pavement. The architectural appearance of Kastiak was unique. There was no citadels, Shahristan and Rabat, which were features of the Central Asian cities. It was surrounded by 16 watchtowers.
Со второй половины VII века, сперва как был.
Since the second half of the 7th century, it has been something of a Turkic headquarters. During Karluk, it expanded into a city. The city blossomed in the era of Karakhanids. The city lasted nearly 700 years. This is until the middle of the 14th century.
До середины XIV века.
Archaeologists have concluded that there are 14 large settlements, including Kastiak, between Almaty and the Kordai Passage. These sites are yet to be investigated. However, the archaeologists highlight that such findings once again confirm that developed urban civilizations existed on Kazakhstan's territory for thousands of years. Original and unique canvases of young artists from Astrakhan, Adil Aubekirov, have been presented. Every detail on canvas of the master shows his creative idea, which aims to present picturesque myths and legends of the Great Steppe, the residence of the capital. This is the artist's first solo exhibition in Kazakhstan. Previously, his paintings have been presented in galleries of Moscow, St. Petersburg, and St. Tropez. The artist came to the main city of the Republic to take part in Astana Art Show. Having inspired by origins of Kazakh culture, he drew 30 paintings. He focuses on people, color, and lines. All this is magically combined in his bright and emotional paintings.
На протяжении месяца я готовил фасад. Это все было без эскизов, это все была такая импровизация.
I was preparing the facade for a month. It was all without sketches and just improvisation. Now it's all like the Great Steppe, which inspires me, which I reflect inside, responds to where I get inspiration, which surprises me, and I like horses and the riders.
Не может меня не удивлять, да, то есть мне нравятся лошади, мне нравятся какие-то, то есть всадники и так далее.
Talented Kazakh pianist Zhania Albakirova performed in Poland after giving concerts in France, Austria, and Germany. The world-famous artist was awaited in the homeland of the great Chopin. Zhania Albakirova is well known in Warsaw. She has given masterclasses and concerts there several times. She was awarded the Golden Cross for her contribution to culture of Poland. Her performance took place in the summer residence of Polish kings at the Villa Novie Palace. Members of the parliament, foreign diplomats, businessmen, as well as ethnic Kazakhs living in Poland gathered. The concert was a real gift for the 100th anniversary of the country's independence.
Myślę, że to świetny pomysł na zorganizowanie takiego.
It is a great idea to organize such concert, especially since our countries are celebrating significant dates. What a great concert. It is done at very high level. It was breathtaking. I think you need to organize such evenings more often.
Bardzo ładnie się sprawdza. Z ogromną przyjemnością.
It was a very beautiful concert. I was very happy to listen to Chopin performed by a Kazakh pianist in a duet with a violoncellist. This concert shows that relations between our countries are getting better every day, and this is related not only to culture but also to business and other areas.
Wzajemnej współpracy na przyszłość.
The concert featured works of classical music masters such as Frédéric Chopin and Franz Schubert. You saw how we were welcomed. This is especially nice. For us, Warsaw is the heart of Chopin. I have performed here and it is very pleasant to return and perform. Following her European tour, Zhania Albakirova will perform in China and Russia. She plans to head to Japan and Europe next year.